That's some serious harassment. Hey, dispatcher. I want to find out who's the lieutenant on for tonight, or who's the watch commander. Regan, and what about the watch commander? Okay, can I speak with him? Mm-mm. Hi, Regan. This is Tracy Robinson. Hey. So anyway, I'm just trying to find out what's going on. I'm still here at 580 Dover, and they keep calling the police on me for crazy reasons, and I feel like you guys coming out, you guys are participating in retaliation. However, when you guys leave, they curse me out and call me bees and stuff like that and threaten me, which I have recorded. So, I mean, at what point, and this is the question I asked the law enforcement officers when they came out, because every time you guys come out here, there's nothing I've done to her. It's just that she's frustrated and she has to go through civil proceedings. So my question to you is, at what point do the police department decipher that this is just retaliation? Because every time you guys come out here, you guys talk to me and it's causing me emotional harm. Okay. So I'm the young lady that you said, "Oh, you think you smart, you think you know more than us, and go ahead and sue." Remember that conversation we had? Regan. Huh. Um, I'm the former ex-law enforcement officer. Okay, so long story short, I went up there December the 27th, and maybe you're not, who was the other watch commander? Sounds pretty young. But anyway, I went up there and I filed charges against my roommate because she's 78 years old and she sexually harassed me. And when I reported it to the church turned around and told her about it, and her daughter hit me with a chair, and I have bruises on my leg. So that was like on the 26th or 27th of December. No, that wasn't it. No, sir. So I'm sorry, maybe it wasn't you. I'm 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 renting a room. I'm renting a room from someone that owns a house, and I'm preparing to leave. They've. I told them I first was going to leave, and they gave me a notice, right? However, yeah, but I told her I was going to leave. Of course, after I filed the charges against her with you guys, of course she's going to give me a notice to leave, and I'm trying to leave anyway. But her daughter hit me with a chair. So what happened was the police came over here, took the report from her. No, this was on the 27th of December. The police came, they took the report, um, but there was an issue because Officer Pineda kept saying, "Well, you're the one look like you're crazy. This old lady took you in and you're trying to say she touched you." And I said, "Well, did she say she touched me?" She said, "Well, yeah, she said she touched you, but it's no big deal. You're ungrateful. You sound crazy. And then that's when I call the sergeant out, right? And so all of this here, I'm going to have to put in a formal complaint. But the problem I've been having is since I filed a report on her, she has been calling the police 3, 4 times a day, and the police have been coming out here. Well, I'm the one who initially reported her, but she has, yes, for retaliation, and then she called Adult Protective Services and stuff like that. But you guys have been coming out here talking to me and it's stressing me out, like trying to get ready to move. But she's frustrated, but she the one started all this stuff. And so, well, one time you guys came out and I'm so sorry, I'm just tired. One time you guys came out and I told them she wasn't here, and you guys came in and looked through my room, well, looked through my room and looked through the house and asked me some questions. And so then again came out and she was here. You guys came in when I came in, and you guys told me, "Oh, we want to talk to you," and then went and talked to them and then came back, and then another time you guys came out because that same day after I filed the complaint against them, on that very same day her daughter came back with 4 girls to jump on me, and the police was called. Yeah, on the 27th the cops were called out here 4 times. So I initially walked up to the station, filed a report, but after I filed a report, they talked to her. She never mentioned that I abused her. But from that day, 4 days that day, the cops were called out here and I was sort of had to deal with it. But since that day, it's been about 10 times. So today, the cops have already come 1 time today. They've come 2 times last week. And so I'm like, I can't function. And I feel like there's already been investigations for elder abuse and it come up negative. I'm not abusing her. Now the police officer that was here today, he was familiar with something and he said that you guys were investigating with the DA about the elder abuse. I don't know what's going on that behalf, but I know that I did talk to a lieutenant and I told him, I said, if you guys know that she's doing this and every time you guys come out here, I've done nothing, it seems like it's retaliation. And it's stressing me out because every time you guys come out here, I haven't hit her. I did, but I haven't served her. But the problem I'm having is my question, Reagan, is if the police have come out here several times and it has been found that I've done nothing to her, why do you guys keep participating in her retaliation? Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I need, go ahead. I, I'm expeditiously, I'm expeditiously trying to do it, but if you look at my belly, it looks like I'm about to pop any day. It's causing me some stress, you know? Literally, my belly is the size of a basketball. And so another, oh, I got some medical things. So, okay. I, I, I'm not, okay. But so, yeah. And so the thing that it is like, for example, today, she called the cops out because she wanted to know how I got in the house. If I'm a paying tenant, you're not supposed to lock me out of the house. And I found my way in, you know? And so then the other day, and there could be some other things going on with her. I think she done worked herself in a frenzy because she just won't admit that she sexually harassed me several times. But her she called the cops because she said I took her cane. And then she said I took her phones, two of her phones. But when I think about it, I don't think she's misplaced her phones. I accused her of having child pornography on her phone, in which I took a picture like from afar of her phone, right? So as 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 soon as I find a place, and I'm expeditiously looking for a place, you know. But the thing that it is I feel like you're not. I guess you were the person I talked to, and I'm glad I talked. You don't remember if you weren't the person I talked to, I definitely was gonna file a complaint on you, and you weren't that lieutenant. And but I thought it was Lieutenant Reagan. I mean, you would remember our conversation, so maybe it wasn't you. Um, what's the other lieutenant name? Well, I know it wasn't today. We've had several conversations, and he goes, "Oh, you hung up on me, and I didn't hang up on him." And then he said, "Where were you a police officer? Where were you a police officer? Prove it, prove it. Where were you a police?" I'm like, I don't have to prove to you I was a cop, you know. So if you don't remember that conversation, it wasn't you. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is, it should be deciphered that these continuous calls and me having to answer to all these questions, it's caused me a lot of harm, you know? And, it's just causing me a lot of harm and it's stressing me out because I keep thinking the cop is going to hit me upside the head or something. And I have, well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because Husley and Pineda, when they were calling me crazy and saying that Pineda was calling me crazy, and saying it was no big deal that this lady touched me, um, I was recording her, and my recorder was getting ready to go out, and then I said, "Oh, my recorder's getting ready to go out. I'm gonna go in the room and grab another recorder." And that's when she found out I recorded her calling me crazy. She was like, "You're the one sound crazy. You sound crazy." So she was yelling at me and stuff. And so when I told her I'm gonna go in the room and get my other recorder, and she said, okay. She moved back. And when I came back in and she realized I was recording her, she said, stop going back and forth in the room. Stop going back. I'm like, I'm not going back and forth in the room. And so she kept giving escalated verbal commands. The next thing a person do after that is pull out a weapon. So then she kept threatening to arrest me. So then when Husley came in, he kept saying, stop going back and forth in the room. Stop. I'm like, I'm not. And I put my hands in the air so that they could be visible. And then he said, "You don't have to put your hand in the air." And I said, "I'm gonna put my hand in the air because you guys keep yelling and saying I'm going back and forth in the room, and I'm not. That's a false verbal command." So he kept saying, "Well, Tracy, put your hands down." I said, "I don't know what you guys are gonna do." And as soon as I proceeded to put my hands down, he pulled out a baton, and I put my hands back up. And he goes, "Why did you put your hands up?" I said, "Because you pulled out a baton. You may hit me." He said, "I didn't pull out my baton." I said, "Yes, you did." So at that point, when there is a verbal command, after a verbal command and a person don't listen to them, you use the necessary force to sustain them. And here's the thing. 1997, I became a law enforcement officer, and then I think that's the cops to the door again. Oh, and then I have a degree in criminal justice technology. So my thing is, based on what they were doing, it led me to believe that I would be mistreated. Let me see who's at the door. Who is it? Oh, who? Come on in. So, Lieutenant Reagan. Hello?
Go ahead, sir.
Hello? Lieutenant Reagan, are you still there? I'm on the phone with Reagan. How can I help you guys?
You want to say what's on call? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Afraid. Okay, and then by the okay, and also before you leave, by the way, when you guys left the first time, I recorded the lady and her daughter calling me bees, threatening me, and I recorded it. So I'm not the aggressor, you know? So I'll let you talk to them. Okay, bye bye.
So it sounds like there's a
There's just an ongoing issue. I filed on December the 27th. I went to the police department and filed charges because the young lady that lives back there hit me with a chair, and I filed charges because the older lady, she's been sexually harassing me, and I've been reporting it to the church. And I actually recorded her admitting to sexually harassing me. So when I filed the charges, I knew that I needed to hurry up and find a place to stay, which I'm trying to do. But since then, they've been filing false police reports on me, which is abusive process. I am. You want to hear what they said to me? Like, so you know I'm not the aggressor?
no.
Okay.
Oftentimes, only parts of things are recorded, so and I wasn't here, so I can't really say.
But me being called a bee and she admitted to taking a chair and hitting my leg, this is like the ongoing thing going, and my leg is purple, you know?
How long have you been staying?
Well, I came here August the 5th and I left for 30 days and into Florida. And then I left for another 2 weeks to Chicago. So about 4 months total.
Hmm.
But I've been paying her too. But I'm
Trying to
definitely
go to a different area?
as soon as possible. Actually, I'm in the process of getting a house. And so I'm taking care of things as soon as possible, but it's hard for me to take care of with all this stress going on, you know? Look at here. Like seriously, I shouldn't be having to deal with this stress, you know, but I'm doing the best I can.
Well, it might be worth it just to try to find someplace.
Yeah. And so in a court of law, what it's called is abusive process, malicious prosecution, and if a tenant says, "Hey, somebody's sexually harassing me," that landlord can't retaliate against them. But I told her, I even recorded December the 25th. I told her I was leaving and finding a different place to stay.
On Christmas.
But yeah, because it happened on Christmas. But I told her that I was going to find a place to stay and I was leaving. So, but you cannot retaliate against me because I seek help with the law enforcement.
Well, no, I mean, it sounds like everybody's not really happy, so,
Mm-mm.
regardless of involving all of us, law enforcement on either side, might be beneficial to all parties if you guys kind of go your separate ways.
Absolutely. However, if somebody was to tell you immediately that you move, would you have a place to stay lined up?
Well, yes, but
You would. Where would you go?
family,
Huh? Where?
family,
And if you didn't have family living in California, where would you go?
friends,
If you didn't have friends in California, where would you go?
figure something
Okay. And so there is, and see, here's another thing that I have. Um, it's called the SLAPP rule, the anti-SLAPP rule in the court of law.
out.
Law enforcement cannot participate in civil matters and force somebody to leave. And that's what I've been getting, not from you per se, but from everybody. Because one of the lieutenants, he goes, "Why don't you just leave? Why don't you just leave?" I'm like, this just happened December the 25th, you know?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been here before, so I
Okay.
can't speak to what happened before. But
All right. Can I get your card too and everybody's card? But trust me,
my partner will
all
be
right,
but
I
I would
will.
just recommend, like,
I'm
personally, I
I'm
would.
just staying in my little corner. I'm not touching nobody. I'm not bothering nobody, and I'm not gonna even offend anybody. And I got some lot of things. I got a lot of things I need to take care of, and so I'm doing it to get up out of here as soon as possible. But I will not be harassed. That's
Was there
horrible.
some kind of a restraining order that was passed?
Um, restraining order. He gave me some partial information, and I went down to the court and I discovered that her neighbor over there put a restraining order on me. However, but when I was at the
I meant for this location.
for this location, whatever I got was some partial information about her neighbor, and then it was one piece of paper with Florence's name on it.
Is that does she live?
That's the older lady that lives here. Yeah, and pretty much I only got like 2 pages, and it pretty much said don't harass her. But if you listen to the recorder, she was the one harassing me.
So there's a contention between who's harassing who inside of the residence. Is that what's going on?
There's a what?
There's contention. There's a problem between who's accusing who of harassing who.
Well, if you think about it, it's just retaliation. Because when I went to the police department on December the 27th and said that this lady sexually harassed me, bending down, looking at my vagina, all this is detailed. When I went to the police department, older lady, yes sir, God is my witness. And so when I did that, and then what happened was her daughter found out I told the church because I had been telling the church what she'd been doing, and the church been saying pray for her. God has you there. You know what I'm saying, right? And so when her daughter found out, that's why her daughter hit me on December the 25th. But when the police came out here, they asked her questions. She never mentioned that I harassed her. I did anything to her. But then 2 hours later, this Hispanic girl came and they were right there, right? And I recorded, and then the Hispanic girl said, "Well, did she take your money?" Miss Florence said no. "Did she hit you?" Miss Florence said no. "Did she touch you?" Miss Florence said no. So then the lady said, "Well, we're going to file a false report to Adult Protective Services." I recorded that. So when Adult Protective Services came here, they asked Florence, "Did she touch you?" Miss Florence said no. So Adult Protective Service says, "We have no reason to file a report. Just, she needs to get out of here." So I recorded even Miss Florence saying I hadn't done anything. You get what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's
I don't know. I just feel like I would leave if that all that was going on around me. But each his own.
you say you would leave, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just seems like.
And so you don't think I'm trying to get the necessary thing taken care of to leave? You don't think I'm trying to leave?
I don't.
Are you gonna tell? May I ask who you are, my dear? Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. The sergeant's on the way. Where's your family at? In Florida?
These children don't come see their mama. This lady called me a slave. She's going to admit to taking a chair and hitting me with a chair. You don't do that. You don't put your hands on people. These kids do not. This lady, y'all looking at things, it's so emotional. First of all, you asking me where my family at. You don't know my situation. You don't know what happened. You don't know nothing what happened.
You said you went to Florida. I was wondering if your family was in
No,
Florida.
you don't know, and
Then
you
you
keep
said you
saying,
were
"Oh,
in Chicago.
if it was me, why don't I move?" Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
Somebody pulled a gun on me at Starbucks where I was living, and then somebody kept breaking in my house, so I came out here for refuge. You get what I'm saying? So you don't know all of that. Let me
Was that
calm down.
Chicago or was
No,
that Florida?
here. You don't know all of that to be like, oh, I just moved. You don't know what I just went through. So I feel like you were prejudiced saying all of that. You don't know why I went from one side of Los Angeles County to the next. You get what I'm saying? I came out of my house. I saw somebody breaking in somebody else's house. I went back in. They started breaking in my house. Then somebody pulled a gun on me. So there's a lot of stuff happened. You don't know that. However, this lady here, everybody is looking at, nobody's admitting to the fact that I was sexually abused.
Was there family in Florida that you lived
I'm
with?
not going to tell you my personal business because I know that you're prejudiced against me when it comes,
Or what
because
you
you kept saying, well, if it was up to me, I would move.
Well, you
Or
asked me. So you asked me what I would do.
no, you
So
kept
you asked
saying
my
it.
opinion. I gave it to you. All right. I'm not prejudiced about anything.
You kept
You
saying
can
it.
stay here as long as you want legally. If there's a restraining order, you might have to leave. I'm just letting you know.
No, it's not that type of
You may be
restraining order.
arrested for violating restraining order.
No,
I'm just letting you
I'm
know.
not supposed to leave.
I'm
The
just letting you
restraining
know.
order says I'm not supposed to harass her, and I'm supposed to stay. I'm not harassing her.
I don't know that. If she says you were, then
Well, then tell them to pull out the restraining order. Let's look at it because they gave me partial papers.
okay. Well,
But
I'm
you
letting you know
can't
what
get
it
a
says.
you can't get a restraining order against somebody that lives in an apartment.
This is an apartment. It's a house.
I mean, that lives in a house. If I live here, you can't get a restraining order. So the restraining order said there is not a move away order. I'm not supposed to move out of here till we go to court on the 5th.
Of February.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about these issues. Hopefully, I'll be gone before then. There is no restraining order against me for me to leave. I'm just not supposed to harass her. But let me finish telling you. But I will say this to piggyback on that. When I had asked you what would you do, the reason I asked you that is because you kept saying, "Well, why don't you just leave?" And I would, you can. And I'm like, he doesn't know my.
That's not what I said.
Okay, all right. So moving forward, now I feel like I do believe that is what you said.
No,
Okay. So, what's your name again, sir?
it's right there.
I can't. I ain't got my glasses on. What's your name?
It's right there.
RBALSZ. And
Yeah.
what's your identity? Your 6 digit?
I don't have a 6.
What's your your
2237.
2237? Okay. BALSZ. All right. 22,
37.
37. Okay. So anyway, so these are the things that this lady has done to me, right? And I've been waiting on this a certain type of MRI for 10 years. Finally got it done, which was in this proximity. But however, these are things that this lady has done. She's touched my butt 6 times, just grabbed my butt, right? When I was coming out of the shower, she would knock on the door. And when I was in, she would just come in the bathroom. I would put a towel around me to run out. And she bent down and looked at my vagina and started saying, "Oh, yours black, mine's gray," right? Then she's drinking every single night. Then there's a guy named Maurice, 11 o'clock at night. He's coming here every night, right? But things that she's done to me, porn. Every single day she keep trying to show me porn. Not just regular kind of porn, sadistic kind of porn. I was sitting on that chair. She kept trying to show me porn. And I would spaz out because guess what? I've never watched porn. I've never drank. I've never smoked. I have been a woman of God my whole entire life. So imagine me coming in this house thinking this older lady is going to help refine me. You know what I'm saying? And she's sitting there watching porn, touching my butt, and then she had child porn. At that point, when I found out she had child porn, I just spazzed out. I kept telling the church, stuff that this lady's doing, right? I kept telling the church stuff that she was doing, and they were like, "Oh, God got you there to pray for her." You see what I'm saying? So when I went to Florida for a whole 30 days,
Why would you come back to such an environment?
because my stuff was here. All my stuff is here, and I got to settle this situation with my house and everything like that, right? And so Florence, and then if you look at my Facebook, her son sent me a message, and I printed it out. He said, "Thank you so much for being there for my mother, because these 2 children don't check on their mama." So then the lady started calling me servant and stuff like that. So one side of me, I'm still dealing with the post-traumatic stress of somebody pulling a gun on me, and my car had to go under a semi-truck. So I'm still dealing with that post-traumatic stress. And at the same time, I got this church that I'm beginning to love telling me God put me here to pray for this lady, right? And then she's stressing me out. So at that point, I said, I'm going to move. She got upset because she found out I told what she's been doing to me and that I was moving. On Facebook, she goes, "Oh, Tracy, you've been such an angel to me." You know, she just praised me on Facebook. Her son praised me because I've been good to her. But the screaming and yelling and calling me servant, at that point I said I need to move. So I have money that's been coming in, and I had some checks and stuff. It's been intercepted. Literally all my money's been intercepted by the mail. So now, well, that's true. So now I've had to contact the necessary people, get the paperwork signed again for the money to come back. And they're not going to send it here. So that's been another holdup. You get what I'm saying? But for you to be like, "Why don't I just move? Why don't I just move?" There are other things, you know? And I feel like, honestly,
I'm sure there's a lot that
yeah,
comes into
there's a
decision-making.
lot. But
Sure.
me being here, I don't want to be here.
Well, I wouldn't want to be here.
I definitely don't want to
That's
be
why
here.
I'm saying I would figure something out, because I wouldn't want to be exposed to that.
I don't want to be
Or
exposed.
harassed.
I don't want to be harassed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would just figure something out. I wouldn't want to live and deal with that.
I don't want to deal with it. But what I'm trying to tell you is,
I heard you.
I don't know anybody here in California. I've been here
What
13
about the
years.
church? You said you've been going to church.
You know what the church did? First, the church, I begged the church to intercede. I wrote the church a 7-page letter. But the church was concerned about how I wear my hair and me wearing lipstick and makeup. So my heart is
Which church?
Ontario Christian Center in Ontario. So my heart is a little bit broken because I feel like, and then one lady at the church was like, "Oh, don't come here with hidden agendas," right? And so my heart is a little bit broken because I was already going through stuff on the other side of LA. I did not expect to come here and deal with sexual harassment and deal with, I felt when I found that church that I sort of kind of found home, because I've been looking for a home. And
So you're not happy with that church either?
well, no. And so I saw somebody from the church and they told me to come back. But my thing is, I don't understand why, when I kept telling the church this lady was sexually harassing me, why they kept telling me I need to stay and pray for her. Right? And so I called somebody else that's like over, it's like a Word of Faith, Kenneth Hagin type of group. Everybody that goes to these type of churches, it's not a cult or anything, but just Word of Faith, people that really believe in faith and speaking in tongues. And then I called this minister. I really don't know her that much, but she told me when I told the church what this lady was doing to me, they should have never told me I needed to stay here. Because at that time I had money. I had money. But this the lady here, she just wanted all my money, and then 24 hours I'm just slaving for her. And then if you can hear on the recorder, she called me her servant. She just is mean. She's a mean lady, and that's why kids don't deal with her. I just didn't expect to deal with that. And so until my money come in, technically I'm hoping that money comes in any day soon. But until my money come in, it's not like I'm gonna get out there and live on the street. I'm very like, I'm upset because I was already going through too much to go through this. But this lady will not admit she's wrong for nothing, you know. And the interesting thing, when I first got here, and so I have to learn some things when I see something wrong, because I had money. I had some money. But this lady wanted me to, well, she told me she didn't want me to pay rent when I got here, but I wanted to, because that's what the first lady said.
Is there, like, how are you getting your money from? Like work, or
I run a litigation firm.
they can't like give you in advance?
I'm self-employed and things.
You can't like go get an advance from anybody?
I'm self-employed, so things are a little bit held up. You know what? I really see your sincerity.
Well, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
help you because you don't
because
sound happy.
I'm not. I'm not happy, but I'm not going to be out there on the street where
No,
somebody
I
rape
get it.
me and abuse me.
The only thing
You
I could
know,
possibly offer you right now is like a homeless shelter. You probably don't want to go there. So.
I'm not going to go there
No, that's
either.
why I didn't even
Yeah.
bring it up. I'm just saying, like, if you're this unhappy, I don't understand why you want to be. That's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
want to be here. And pretty much I'm staying out of her way. The only reason I'm right here is because I need to do some work, you know. But I, s- I s- her son is here. That's why the law enforcement was called. But I stay out of her way. She need to stay out of my way. And I'm
Well,
pretty
honestly,
much,
that's why we're here. Because
yeah.
apparently, it sounds like, according to what I've been told, is you guys aren't staying out each other's way. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here right now.
You
We were
listen
out.
to the
We were out
recorder.
here. I heard you. We were out here earlier today.
Hmm.
What did they say?
Well, you know why you guys were out here? Because she don't understand, you can't lock me out. And when she locked me out, I found my way in the house last night. And when I found me in the house, she was upset. So she called the cops and wanted to know, how did I get in the house?
Oh.
So she's calling for that. And then I think right now she's beginning to have some type of onset of dementia. I don't know if it's onset of dementia or she intentionally hid her phones because she knew that I kept saying she has child porn. So I don't know if she intentionally hid her phones because of that, because she's smart. But she called the cops because she said I took her phones. Then she called the cops because she said I took her cane. You know what I'm saying? So these are things I'm not doing.
Doesn't sound like a very healthy environment.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Can you tell me a little bit about your son, sir? What happened tonight specifically? I'm aware of kind of the history of what's going on here, but
Tonight.
yeah, some things I sound like there's, or even
You want to hear? You want to hear what happened tonight?
some of the exchange of words, maybe.
Yes, sir. I recorded it.
Okay.
All right.
Is this the recording you watched?
He didn't listen to it. All right.
Just referring with.
Because I'm pretty much staying out of everybody's way. So when the law enforcement left today, the reason law enforcement was here today is because she said she didn't know how I got in the house last night. You get it?
Okay.
Because I'm trying to get up out of here, and I got in. She doesn't know how I got in the house last night. I rang the doorbell. She wouldn't let me in, so she was upset. So she called the cops for that reason. But when the cops left today, um, this is what happened. It's only about less than 10 minutes. Hello, how are you? Is that the sergeant?
Yes.
Okay. So the cops are leaving. I'm doing this to protect myself because they keep getting in my face. You see her? She keeps saying stuff to me. You listening to Sergeant?
Here, yeah.
You want to hear how she keeps saying stuff to me?
No, I'm gonna let
Mhm. Uh-huh. It's getting ready. She's going to admit to hitting me with the chair, her daughter, in a second. So this happened when the cops left, and I was in the hallway trying to go in my you trying to go in my room, and Florence kept saying stuff to me. Right? You know, she was saying your mother don't like you and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so when Florence kept saying stuff to me, and her daughter was there, and I know her daughter already hit me with a chair, right?
Her daughter hit you with the chair?
Yes, sir. I
Did you
have.
call the police?
I call. That's how this thing first started.
That's Christmas.
That's how. Yeah, on Christmas, her daughter hit me with a
Oh,
chair.
I'm talking about today.
No.
We're not. We can't go back on what happened.
Yeah.
I'll have to go and enforce that today.
Yeah.
I'm
So
trying to
there.
figure out what happened
This
today.
is the pending investigation. So basically, today when you guys left, they told her. They told Florence pretty much. You know, it's a civil matter. You know, me getting in the house or whatever. But when I left, you heard me telling the cops. You know, when they left, Florence started saying stuff to me, calling me ugly. My mother don't like me, so she started antagonizing me. And then her daughter was there, and so then her daughter was calling me a B. And then her daughter, if you continue to hear, it's only 3 more minutes. Her daughter said, "Yeah, I picked up a chair and hit you." And so I said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go in my room." So everything was quiet, but then her son just came and gave.
Here's what I'm kind of focused on that I want to ask you about what happened today. Okay, she's saying that she's in fear of you. Okay, she's saying quite the opposite of what you're saying. There's two sides to every story, right?
Uh-huh.
And what I'm trying to figure out is obviously there's a restraining order in place right now, right?
Well, that I'm not supposed to mess with her, but she's messing with me. You hear her on here calling me names.
I haven't heard her call you any names on it.
Yes, sir. Let's listen again.
I
She said your mother don't like you. She said talked about my face. She called me ugly. She did. And then I responded.
Is
Uh-huh.
also saying when he got here that you're yelling at both of them through the door when he's talking to her in her room.
That's not true. He gave me a
That's not
3 day.
true?
No, sir. He gave me a 3 day notice now, and then he gave me a 3 day notice. So he started a conversation with me. He gave me a 3 day notice, and then he said, "Well, Tracy, what happened? You're supposed to be leaving." And I told him, "Yeah, I'm going to leave, but something happened to my mail." And I told him his mama had been messing with my mail. So from my understanding, the restraining order is for me not to harass her. I'm not harassing her. But you want to hear her? She called me a name. So when the police left, when she called me the name, I just said, "Okay, she's harassing me." I press record, and if you can hear, her daughter just called me a B.
Her daughter has nothing to do with the restraining order.
But she does. Do you want to know who started it? She was the first.
Florence and Tracy.
You want to hear? You want to hear it again?
So
She said something to me first.
The only person I heard arguing with you is her daughter. Her daughter's not a part of the restraining order.
No, can I please, officer? Can I let you hear it?
Yeah, I listened to you. I sat here.
I'm talking about the first thing that was said.
Okay. So what I'm getting at is When her son was here, he was saying he was behind closed doors with her, and you were yelling at both of them through the door while he was having
No,
a
I was
conversation
not.
with her.
No, I was
Okay,
not.
so you're alleging that he completely made that up?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Please, I'm just going to say please. Can you guys hear the first person said something to somebody? It was her, said something to me. I'll let you know.
I heard it. We don't.
What did you hear?
I heard the recording you played.
No, I'm saying the very first word. Just hear one word she said. When the cops left, she called me a name. You got to hear it. This is if I'm going to plead my case.
Okay, I've heard it, man.
What
there
did
was nothing in there that sounded antagonizing me.
she said something to me? She called me a name. I'm asking you again, Sergeant. Sergeant, are you the sergeant?
I am the sergeant, and
I'm going to
Officer
ask
Solani is
you.
going to make the determination on what he's going to do with this.
But I'm going to ask you, please, can you hear it
I
again?
don't need to hear it.
I'm talking about the very first word.
Yeah.
Where's Lieutenant? Can I have Lieutenant Reagan come out here?
Can you stand up for me, please? Can you stand up
You
for
guys
me?
are going to arrest me?
Stand up for me.
Jesus Christ.
No,
Can I go ahead and just, I don't want to pull away. I just want to stop my recorder.
I'll take it with you. We'll take it with you.
That's not right. But I'm asking you, can you listen to the recorder when she antagonized
I
me?
heard the recording now.
She said something to me first.
We'll bring it with us.
Okey-dokey. But I'm saying, okay, so you guys are going to make this determination. Don't you want to hear that she said something to me first when the cops left?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this situation.
Can we talk about it at the station?
We will, absolutely.
Like, can we listen? But my recorder's here. Like, she said something to me first.
That's information you present in court if you guys were to go to court regarding this.
What about my personal stuff?
Who was here in your residence?
But they're going to go through it.
Well, then you can.
Okay, so my question again. Can we call Lieutenant Reagan
You will be able to speak with him later.
tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's okay.
All right. I just want to say I'm ex-law enforcement officer.
Yes, ma'am.
I will never do anything to commit a crime. But I will say when the cops left, she said something to me.
I'll discuss it with you.
So if you guys listen to it and determine that she said something to me, wouldn't she be breaking her?
We'll discuss it.
Okay, let's talk about it. But wouldn't she be breaking her restraining order if she said something to me first? I have a question. Where's the sergeant?
Right.
So if she said something to me first, Mommy? Oh my God.
So she's been arrested and
Please don't, Chris. I didn't even need you here. She's been carrying on all night. That hurts just now. So I just got up on my mama, checking up on her, and I'm off from work. Whew, Jesus. She was, oh my God, Danny, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Let's go home safely. I sure will. Every last one. I'm just walking into the house. Literally walking into the house. Who's oh, that's her shit? Boy, I know she did not see this happening. Her getting arrested. She did not see that happening. Let me get my stuff from my room, Mama. I'll be right back. Girl, do you hear me? My day at work was amazing. Like amazing. Now we go snatch that shit off the TV. No shit out nobody. Okay.
So just so you guys understand, she comes back tonight or tomorrow, and she wants to gain entrance in the house, like you were saying. If she knocks on the door, she'll let her in. Yeah. Right. But if she like tries to break in, that's another story. But if she knocks on the door, she'll let her in.
That's so. This is kind of a gray area. I don't want to say let her in. If she's gonna be so dramatic as to break in, maybe at that point, you might want to let her or make calls to teach you not breaking in. But I mean, if she walked out, just walk out. If she said, "Oh, screw it, I'll walk out." Kind of a gray area.
I think she has.
Well, she said she made it into the slide.
That's what I know. You are signing for me, and then just need your information. Can we just use the counter talk?
That's why I put that to you.
Can I have you just sign on that line right there? Right there.
Just get
That's okay. And can you also write the date and time for me? Right there. Date is 1:30. Time is 10:34. Ma'am, so like I explained to your son, filing a court order is a misdemeanor. We legally can't hold her on it. It's not a felony. So we have to release her within 2 hours of choking her. Okay. So when she does come back, if there's problems where you feel like we need the police, please give us a call. We're open 24/7. So don't feel like you can't call us if you need us here.
Are you from Covina?
Yes. Yes. Well, from the Covina Police Department.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this copy. This just says that you desire prosecution.
Sure.
I think we have you in our computer system from when we were out here a few weeks ago, but let me just keep your information just in case, okay? That way I don't have to call and wake you up or anything. Can you give me your last name again? Hunter? Hunter?
Mm-hmm.
And your first name is spelled Florence.
Exactly.
Do you have a middle name now?
No.
What's your birthday?
12640.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Mm-hmm.
What's your phone number?
Very good, and the house phone is 626-966-4157.
Okay. So I remember your statement already. I just want to elaborate a little bit. What are some of the things she said to you again that to you were intimidating, or you felt like they were harassing, or that made you worried for your safety or your well-being?
Just today.
Let's focus on today. I have some of the history, which I can relate to in my report.
Right.
All the other times we've been out here.
One day, I was sitting up there having breakfast, and she brought. Well, I told her not to get off of the piano.
She said today. He said today.
I know. I heard what he said, but I tell them what happened. They didn't record it. She was playing the piano, and they told her to get off because if the strings break, she's not going to replace it. It's very expensive. So she came to me. She said, "Oh, I can play this on my cell phone. I have the app for it." I said, "Good." That wasn't enough. Then she came and told me that, "Oh, we have child pornography. That you on there, and you're going to lose your house for that. You're going to lose it for that." I go, if I have child pornography on my phone, you put it, I did, because you had my phone for a while. And then,
She takes your phone?
well, when she first came, I loaned her my phone, one of my cell phones, because hers wasn't working. And I loaned it to her, it was an old phone, and I loaned it to her.
Mm-hmm.
But it had, pictures on it, and videos, etc. But no child pornography. Not much now, because I don't even know what that is. Anyway, that was not enough. She came, I was sitting out there having breakfast, and she came with some papers, and she said, "Look, see, I'm suing you for sexual harassment. I'm suing you for sexual." I said, "Tracy, get from me. I don't want to see or hear anything from you." She comes up to my face. "I'm suing you for sexual harassment. Look, your name is here." I go, "Would you please get away from me?"
How close did the papers get to your face?
Well, it was like here. I was sitting down there. I said, "Please go away from me."
Did you feel when she was doing that like she was trying to intimidate you?
Yeah, she was. I said, "I never sexually harassed you anytime." Oh my gosh, I've never seen anybody that could lie like her.
She said she was on the other side of the door yelling at me either.
She wasn't?
So she says.
Oh, she's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so overall, what kind of concerns you about her being here? Just in your words.
I don't want to see her face, is one. I don't want to hear her mouth, because she's very rude. And, the things that come out of her, like, "Yeah, sing my little praise song." She said, "You're not going to go to heaven. You're not going to go to heaven. You think that's going to take you to heaven?" I don't know. She's just evil. Too many things have happened. Some of them I can't even remember. My friend was talking to me on the phone one morning, like about 5:50, because she told me what she did in church. I didn't go to church that night. And she stood up outside of the door and saying, "Yes, Florence, I heard what you said. You have a gun?" Never even touch a gun. I don't even, I know what guns look like, but I never touched one.
How often does she stand outside your door and eavesdrop on you?
Every time we talking inside there, she's outside. She says she's recording.
Even if she's on the phone,
Yes.
she's dropping and recording her.
Recording my conversations.
So,
Somebody comes to my house, she plants herself down right there where she could hear our conversation.
it's like Cape Fair. There's the, it's straight up.
Okay. So you don't obviously feel comfortable.
No,
I
not at
mean,
all.
you
She
don't
makes
feel
me
safe
shake.
around her.
Huh?
You said I know you said she's never physically
She
assaulted
hasn't
you or
hit
threatened
me
you,
or anything like that.
but you
Things that
you
come
feel
out of her mouth.
you feel worried
Yeah,
about her being here for your.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
One time she told me outside, she said, you know, I could put a lock. I go, really? This is before we got into, this kind of relationship.
Is that because you were locking? You said this door?
No, it was something with her car or something. I think
Okay.
she couldn't find the keys or something like
Okay.
that. Found it. She went into my room, she took my phone, she took my cane and hid it one day. Because I
When
know.
was that?
And she
That
locks
was
her
a
door.
couple days ago. I was walking
She
and
took your cane.
Yeah.
How do you know it was her?
Nobody else is in here.
Where did you find it?
Under my bed,
On your bed?
yeah.
Like you would put it up here.
But I had looked there for some stuff for my hair before and it wasn't there
How long was it missing?
for about 2 days ago. But then I went inside the garage and there's an old black cane that was there that she found because she's coming up all my stuff and looking for stuff that I don't have that she thinks she needs. Another thing she did the other day was I noticed her because my daughter doesn't wear my clothes. She don't even like my clothes. But someday when we were going to an event before all this happened, and she went into my closet, took out the blouse that I bought recently, the most recent blouse, and put it on. And I said, where'd you get that? I knew where it was. And she said, oh, I found it in your closet. I said, what?
When was this?
This was some time ago, like about maybe October or something. So I said, if you want it, keep it. There's another one I told her, don't touch it because I like that one, whatever one that she has, it fits me better.
Hold on, this is before or after you guys were having problems?
The first one, the white one was before. Yeah. But the blue one, the day when the guy came to do the smoke thing, did you see the two vacuum cleaners there? And standing there, looking up, showing the light, pointing the lights. And my hand touched the vacuum cleaner, and there was my blouse that I love behind the vacuum cleaner with the brassiere. So I don't know what she was going to do with it because her bosoms is not like mine. So I don't know if she was going to throw it down or whatever.
Well, like I said, when she comes back, if things get out of control,
I know she will be talking all kinds of stuff.
yeah. I
Sure,
mean,
but
you live in the bathroom. If you see things getting out of control, you hear things, give us a call. Okay. Hopefully this eviction thing happens soon, and
working on
that's gonna be the real end of the way out.
Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good
Thank
night.
you so much. Have a good night. Yeah, my nice little blouse with little rhinestones.
I just remember seeing her wear the leggings that I gave you. I bought you those leggings, and you see her wearing them. The black and white. I was very upset. Why? Why I buy it for you?
Because she
But
wore
it's
it.
my
That's
gift
why.
to you.
Yeah, but because she wear it, I said, go ahead, take it. I didn't want to
That's
take it
not
off.
what you do. I would like my pants back, 'cause those were my favorite leggings. So I'm like, what the hell is she doing with my leggings on? I'm like, oh, mommy gave her the leggings I bought for you. I was like, wow, okay, whatever.
That's only because she told me without my knowledge.
Oh, my damn leggings back. Those are my favorite leggings on. Kamiko said I don't want them.
Huh?
Kamiko said I don't want those leggings after. She on the phone. bad.
But that woman, oh my God,
That's not a woman.
whatever she is, and
It's
she
an
gets up there by the minute.
evil spirit. And when you said it earlier today, you said, when I see you, I see nothing but the devil. And that's exactly what she looks like. She doesn't even feel human, mommy. She does not feel human. Something ain't right with her.
Oh, like, you know, it's not too solid.
Everything's gonna be all good right now. I'm over here
If
really
you
hungry.
want some more juice, you can get it.
No more what juice for. Ain't nothing to suck it up with, no.
Yeah, we have bread. I have Italian bread.
Daggone bread. 2 hours? Can't they take her to West Covina?
You take her and throw her in the garbage can.
No, but I'm saying if they take her to West Covina, she can't get back here quick enough. She ain't got no means, but how she gonna get out? How she gonna pick her up?
Nobody, she gonna walk.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they put her in West Covina.
Oh,
That's where they usually
walk.
take people to jail and keep her there.
Oh,
And then she'll take forever to get back.
is that where they're gonna take her?
I don't know. I hope so. I can only pray. I can only pray. All this stuff around here just as casual and comfortable as she want to be. I can't stand it. Whose bag is this?
That's hers, not mine.
See, we could be really ugly and be all in her info.
Oh, those are hers. She go pick up the, I can't even use it anymore.
What?
That's the flower.
What flower?
You see behind it, holding up her computer.
Girl, you take your flower and
I'm
do
not,
what
I
you
don't
want.
want it anymore.
Throw it away. Just throw it all away. We are not here to entertain her. Nothing. Nothing for your convenience. Tired of her. Thinking she running something. Ain't running nothing but your damn mouth. And if everybody is asleep and she can't get in, that sounds like a personal problem.
She could sleep in her car like she was doing before.
Hey, so be it.
Imagine I asked her, how did you get in, Tracy? You should have seen her.
I know she was mad as hell.
And walk right past me. Tracy, how did you get into the house and lock all my doors? But I heard the front door open. And I thought it was you.
I was on the phone with you, honey.
You didn't taste the shrimp yet?
No, Mommy, I'm doing something.
Oh.
She's gonna have a rude awakening. Do you need the Wi-Fi for any reason?
Right now?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pull the whole thing out. I'm just gonna take this thing. She's not gonna have easy access to everything. I have means to get to my wait a second, you can't take the Wi-Fi out if the phone's connected, huh, Coco?
Right.
Okay, never mind that. Never mind that, Mama.
But
She is just living her life like it is the best over here. This is home. Yeah, she's something else.
what does that say?
What?
That's the
I don't know. I can't see. I ain't got no glasses on.
that's the thing that
I'm
Chris
just taking
gave her
pictures.
today. Okay.
You like touch people's stuff?
Assistant plastic. Hello. Hi. Oh, how are you? Yeah, I did call you. I left a message. What happened? My son, he called the cops because she was just intimidating. She was just aggravating me tonight, and the things she was saying. When we were singing the Lincoln song, and she said, "Oh, that's not going to get me to heaven. Why don't you repent?" Well, it's a problem because we're going to talk about myself.
can't come in here tonight. I'll tell you that. Treat you just like if it was somebody's child. You stay out late, you don't get to go in? Mm-hmm. There it is. I knew it shrimp right there, Mama. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a personal problem. You heard the policeman just now. No, you didn't. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You ain't gotta open nothing. You ain't got to open nothing. Everybody night night around here. Y'all going night night today, y'all. Look, and I know she already locked us, and that's gonna be a real super move on her. Yeah, she's trying to let out over there. She's trying to lock the door over here. Big time. Now, why would I open my door for you? You stinking ass bitch. You really felt that all that harassing was just like, it wasn't gonna catch up to you at all? Like, no, you're not pushing it? I'm pretty sure you've been arrested before. Oh, if I could just take that dang Wi-Fi out, it'd be amazing. Or she need her landline. Living room. So, Move that. Ah, Jesus, thank you, Lord. Yeah, yep, yep, bitty, bitty, bitty. You started too much, man. You did too much, boo. You done did way too much. It's like I wanted to see, but I didn't want to see, but I only wanted to see it to believe with my own eyes. No, that's my life. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep her in there for 2 hours. That bitch. Nobody. Nobody. Hold on. Real quick. She over here real life plugged up. Mm-hmm. I know. I have rights as a tenant, but you don't do that as a tenant. Yeah. That's a lie, huh? Mama, I locked up everything. Fill up. And lock it up everything, garage, everything. Okay. I love you. You call me. I will. I'll call you up. I ain't called him yet. I haven't called the cop yet. Mm-hmm. I got you. That's why she was in here. Put it on your face. That's why she always in here. my car. This way. I didn't realize that it's going to be like this. That was sure. She just got arrested. Like, you just realized I was arrested. There's nobody won't come for you, honey. Especially if you ain't never been arrested before.